Hello and welcome into another edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider Podcast. My name is Kevin Hickson. I am your lead beat writer for the Arizona State Sun Devils on SI, and I'm so grateful to be joining you on this Monday afternoon. Um, as we all know, big weekend for Arizona State basketball for both programs. The men's basketball program fell to the Arizona Wildcats on Saturday afternoon by a score of 87 to 74 in what was a closer game than the final score indicated. The women's basketball program took a defeat to Kansas State, the first home loss of the season, 74 to 67 defeat. And it's a big week ahead for the football program as they are continuing to ramp up preparations for fall camp, which is set for not fall camp, for spring camp, which is set for about 7 to 8 weeks from now. And it's going to be a roster that looks a lot different than last year. Obviously, there's a lot of returning players, but there's a lot of new faces within the program as well. And the season begins on September 5th against Morgan State. So we are still roughly 7 months out from that, but preparations will continue nonetheless. And for Arizona State, uh, looking even beyond the 2026 season, I wanted to talk about some of the recruiting efforts that we've touched upon in today's show. What those recruits, the status of those recruits mean for the Sun Devils program, what the implications are in this cycle in specific, and what chances they have to land these players. So first off, I wanted to start by discussing that um, Benjamin Lothar, the second best offensive lineman prospect in the state of Arizona in the 2027 class. He was originally committed to Stanford, but he decommitted. He was one of the recipients of Kenny Dillingham's initial Golden Ticket initiative that he launched for the junior class, uh, to make in-state prospects know that they are of paramount importance to Arizona State to keep inside the state, inside the Phoenix area in most cases. And he's seriously considering playing for Arizona State. And I mean, that's a great development for offensive line coach Saga Tuitele. And we will talk about the other top prize at the offensive line position in this upcoming class in a minute. But Saga Tuitele has really built up a brand as a player's first coach, a coach that is player friendly, but at the same time, he's very firm and very rigid in his approach. Uh, he definitely stresses as close to perfection as you possibly can get, but in a great way. Every single player that has come through the Arizona State program over the last 3 seasons at the offensive line position has had nothing but good things to say about him. And I got a chance to talk to him before the start of the season, or around the actually it was before week 3 against Texas State, and he's a great interview. Uh, Nothing bad to say about him whatsoever, and I think that is lending that's proving to be an advantageous to Arizona State in their recruiting efforts, and I think that carries over to Jake Hildebrand. So Chris Karpman got to talk to the Basha offensive lineman, who is the top ranked player in Arizona, I believe, according to 24/7 in the 2027 class. Hildebrand has already revealed that Arizona State will be a part of his top five that he will unveil at some point in the near future, seemingly. About a month ago, he came out with his top 10, and Arizona State was part of that as well. They had a lot of stiff competition, though. They were going against Indiana, Oregon, Utah, Texas A&M, Alabama. But I really think that the chance to potentially play right away, to play for Saga Tuatele, who has developed players such as Max Hinishore and Josh Atkins, I think those are very attractive things, as well as getting the chance to only play a few miles away from where you grew up and what played high school football at. So those two players, Lothar and Hildebrand, are prospects to watch over the next several months before they make their college decisions. And they did have two other key visits this weekend as well. Um, Jake Hildebrand's teammate, Basha running back Noah Roberts, visited with Arizona State this weekend as well. It's going to be a tough battle to get Roberts because I mean, the demand for him is possibly even greater than it is for Hildebrand. He's being pursued by Oregon, USC, Ohio State, so many of programs. And it did sound like the visit went well with Roberts and the chance to work with running backs coach Sean Aguano, who has now sent four running backs to the NFL. That's something that has to be at the front of mind. At the same time, you're probably going to be thrust into a running back situation that already has established talents at the position. Carde Mack is going to be returning for a second season, I believe, and you might have other returning players like Jason Brown Jr. as well. It might be tough to get Noah Roberts, but the fact that you're still in the conversation can't be a bad thing. And that leads me into Weston Nielsen. So he already committed to play for Kenny Dillingham back in December. Four-star quarterback. I believe he's around the top 200, 210 player in the 2027 class. Just continuing the pipeline of talented quarterbacks at Arizona State. Uh, I believe that he'll probably stick with his commitment, but that will be a challenge because you'll have Jake Vetty, you might have Cam Dyer, and you might have Cutter Boley beyond this year. So we'll see how that sorts itself out. But I have a lot of faith in Kenny Dillingham, Marcus Arroyo, and that's never wavered. I think that fans should be thrilled with the direction they're going in the recruiting sphere. And I think that it's not a blip on the radar that they are becoming more and more prevalent in the race for four-star recruits. I think that the talent dispersion, the distribution of talent has gotten more even over the last few years as NIL has evolved. And I think that Arizona State is going to be one of the premier destinations in the Big 12 for blue chip talent. Until then, I think that Arizona State is in a good spot as far as the 2026 roster is concerned. Uh, Not really any position I look at right now and am really too overly concerned about. But there's still a lot of time to go between now and the season opener. As I said, until then, stay tuned for updates surrounding the football program, men's and women's basketball, and everything else with Arizona State on SI. And that's really all I have for today. Thank you so much for tuning into another edition of the Sun Devils Insider podcast. And I will likely be out with another episode previewing Arizona State's road trip against Utah for men's basketball. And I will see you then. Thank you so much for tuning in.